I'm so glad to see so many of you here because today I will share with you something that will definitely will change the way you analyze financial markets. And I'm very, very uh, excited because we worked to the thing that I will show you today for many years. And it's something that since less than 1 year ago, it was impossible to do because a lack of computing power. But now it's possible. And here we are presenting it to you. And you already have this new feature inside your Forecaster terminal. But let me start with this sentence. Mom went grocery shopping and bought. You have now to complete the sentence. You can use the chat and you can complete this sentence, please. Can you please give me a wall? Okay. Many of you are writing, and as I expected, many of you are writing milk. And yes, guys, it's correct. Also, the other option like beer, apples, someone wrote inflation, Tom wrote a Tesla. But milk is definitely a good choice because what you just did is what ChatGPT, for example, was made for. Okay? If we go to ChatGPT and we ask to tell us what ChatGPT do, ChatGPT is telling us that ChatGPT works by predicting the next word in a sentence based on the words that came before. It was trained on a huge amount of text, books, website, and other sources to learn patterns in language. When you ask it a question, it uses those patterns to generate a relevant human-like response, one word at a time, very quickly. This is exactly how ChatGPT work. This is exactly how you completed this sentence. And the word milk is correct, actually, because if you go and have a look inside all the things you can find online and all the different times this sentence appeared in a book, in a web page, or something else, 90% of probability says that you can find the word milk. Okay? So, what we did with the Forecaster terminal is very simple, guys, because we just did exactly the same, but with prices and with charts. Okay? This is exactly what we did with the Forecaster terminal. And I'm very excited to present this to you. And as you can see, you have now a new layer here inside the Forecaster. We are now on the Russell 2000 page. And as you can see, you have the seasonality, the overbought and oversold, the COT report, the ranking. And starting from today, you also have the projection. And what we do with the projection is very, very simple. We do exactly what ChatGPT do with words. We go back in the past, we go back in the history of the financial instrument we are analyzing, and Forecaster find all the period where the prices moved exactly like they did in the past 3 months, or you can also choose 1 month, of course. But let's do an example with 3 months. This is exactly what ChatGPT do with words. we can now do it. We do it for prices. We do it for charts. Okay. And if you watch the chart right here, you can see this part is highlighted, is a little bit of has a little bit of transparency. Okay. The forecaster terminal, thanks to the projection new tool, take this piece, this portion of the chart, goes back in time and find all the periods on the chart when the chart, the prices moved exactly like they did in these 3 months. Okay. As you can see here, you have all the cases. In the case of Russell, we found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases. 4 of these 5 cases are bullish. It means that in the past, when we add this pattern, 4 cases on 5, we add a bullish movement after the pattern. Okay. And as you can see here, you can find the probability. It means 8 times on 10. Okay. When the Russell moved like it did in this 3 month, 8 times on 10, the Russell moved with a bullish trend after this pattern. And here on the chart, you have the most correlated event, which you can also find here. It was, and you can also find here in the correlated past events table, it was between 2012 and 2013. And this is in the blue line, the outcome of what happened in the past when prices moved like this. You also have the average long, and here you can find it in green on the chart. You can find the average short, which is the only event, the only negative event. You can allow the chart and you can see all the single events. Okay. And of course, if you go here, for example, you have the target price for the bull scenario. For example, in this case, talking about the Russell, I chose the Russell because we have on Russell a very bullish scenario. Okay. But now we will switch to other instruments and you will understand better. Okay. And here, for example, with the bull scenario, we have a target of 2,490 points, which means plus almost 5% since starting from the actual prices. Okay. You can see only the averages and the most correlated event. You can choose to see the single events, which of course you can find here below in the table. You can also, if you like this prediction or you would like to store it for future analysis, you can also click here on the camera and automatically you will have a picture of what you are looking on the page already saved in your computer with the name of the instrument and the date you made the forecast. Okay. Of course, as always, everything is explained. You have the explanation of projection. You have the explanation of single events, which are very simple. You have the explanation of probability, and you also have the explanation of robustness. Robustness gives us a vote based on 5 stars, where 5 stars is the best vote we can have, that tell us if the projection is robust. And in the case of Russell, as you can see, we can see that we have 5 stars on 5 of robustness. It means that we have at least 2 cases, and does either the bullish or bearish case have at least a 70% probability. In this case, we get the first star because probability are over 70%. Okay, they exceed the 70% of probability, so we get 1 star. The second one, are there at least 2 cases and do at least 70% of the outcome in the dominant scenario and outside the range of the original pattern? And in this case, yes, the answer is yes, and we get another star because we have the target for the projection, which is outside the range we are analyzing. And this means the projection is significant. Okay. So we are at 3. We have now 3 stars. Number 4, are there at least 2 cases and do at least 70% of the dominant outcomes follow the same price path? This is very interesting because in this case we get 1 star. Why? Very simple, because as you can see, at least 70% of the outcome follow the same pattern. Look, here you have, for example, the most correlated event, and here you have the others event that do the same pattern. After a period where the Russell moved like this, more than 70% of the outcome follow the same pattern. And with the same pattern, I mean a low with then a rising in price, and exactly what it did. So it means the projection, it means what happened in the past is consistent. And this is why we get the 4th star. Number 5, the last one, is the price path of the top historical case similar to the average structure of the dominant scenario? And the answer here is yes, and this is why we get the 5 star. Okay, as you can see, the blue pattern, which is what happened to prices after this pattern in 2012, follow exactly the same pattern we have on average. Okay, Ilcha, this is amazing. Wow. Thank you very much. I really happy you like it. This is something, guys, that you cannot find anywhere else. It it's an old idea, but that couldn't impossible to have, because the computing power we need in order to perform all this math was too big 1 years ago. Okay, Vincent, great work. Roy, looks fantastic. Vincent, it's amazing, impressive by Giacomo. Very exciting stuff. Of course, guys, this is something amazing because you can mix all these new kind of analysis. You can mix these prevision, you can use this forecast in combination, in synergy with all the other tools. So for example, if we switch to seasonality, we can definitely see that on Russell we can expect a downward movement in the next weeks. Okay, and thanks to the seasonality, we can expect a downward movement of something between 4% and 2.7%. Okay, and guys, this is exactly what the projection in this case is expecting. The interesting part is that we can jump to this conclusion starting from 2 different complete point of view, because in this case we have gone through the past and we found the same pattern we just had in the last 3 months in completely different part of the years. Okay. And seasonality is doing something completely different because here we find this pattern, but in the past 5 and 10 years, exactly in the same period. Okay. Can you imagine how powerful this kind of analysis can be when you find the same output on such a different kind of analysis? It's amazing. Of course, guys, it works on everything because it works on Forex, for example. It works on stocks, for example. It works even on Bitcoin. In this case, for example, on Bitcoin, on the 3 month period, we cannot find nothing. It means in the past, Bitcoin never moved like it moved in the past 3 months. But if you switch to 1 month, you can find the prediction. Okay. And this is something really, really interesting because you can use this kind of complete new analysis. As I told you, you cannot find it anywhere else because we created it starting from the same concept that we can find in ChatGPT. Okay. We are not predicting the future. We are just watching how how the market behaved in the past exactly like ChatGPT is doing with words. ChatGPT is looking like a human, but is just putting the most probable words after words. That's it. And this is exactly what we are doing right now, thanks to the projection. Okay. I would like to show you something else again on, for example, indexes. And this is, I'm showing to you right now, is working for indexes and commodities at the moment. If you click here, you have the AI macro comparison. If you click it, the AI goes back in the past and give you a macro analysis comparing the actual period and the most correlated period in the past on a monetary, analyzing the monetary policy, the inflation, the labor market, the consumer confidence and investor sentiment, and the geopolitical events. And of course, you have here a conclusion. So you can compare different period of the history for the commodity or the index, and you can understand if you can expect the same behavior or we are in a completely different mood. Okay. So we have Michele, which is asking me if I can show a stocks. Of course, guys, you already have it in your forecaster, so you can go for every instrument you would like. It's working on every instrument you can find on the forecaster. But of course, here we are, for example, on Meta. And how can you interpret this data? Very simple, guys. It's very intuitive. Here we have 77, 67% of probability for a downward movement. And the robustness is quite high because all the point as a match, if not for the number one, because we are lower 70%. Okay, that's it. That's it. For example, in this case, 67% is a little bit lower my expectation for a trade. But if it was 70 or more, for example, this was a very good case for example, a short after a new all-time high. That's it. Here you have everything you need in order to do a prediction, guys. And this is not magic. This is not something that we create from scratch. This is something that we already seen in the past. And this is the real magic, because what we can do today, thanks to the projection, is something that the best traders are doing because of experience. When someone stay in front of a computer 20 years watching prices, he has these kind of feelings that knows exactly where the price are going. And this is exactly that kind of feelings, but thanks to technology. Most correlated event, Jeff, very simple. Let's take, for example, here the chart of Meta. Let's go to Yahoo Finance. Okay. I'm doing this live. Oh, I would like to explain to you what exactly I mean. But most correlated, it means that in the past, and in this case in 2021, we will find exactly the same behavior from prices that we are experiencing right now. So in this case, the most correlated event, you can find it also here on the table highlighted. It was from 26th of May. Yes, 26th of May of 2021. So we go back 2021, 26th of May for 1 to 3 months. Here we are. So what we can find here in 2021 is a very similar behavior compared to how the prices are moving right now, as just moved in the past 3 months. Okay. Let's go, for example, on DAX, which is the German index. Okay. I go on the DAX because look, the projection is very strong bullish with a very high robustness. Okay. If we go here and we go to the chart, we can see that the most correlated event was starting from 21 of July in 2016. So we have to go back in 2016, have to go back a lot, but this is life. I would like to end from 21 of July. Here we are, 21 of July. So here we are, somewhere here, or here. If you compare this movement to what the DAX is doing right now, look, it's exactly the same movement. And this is what we can do thanks to machine learning and pattern recognition, thanks to AI, guys. Because the computing power you need to do something like that is humongous. And it's something that 1 year ago, it was impossible to do. Now, thanks to companies like NVIDIA that give us the access to their data center, we have all this computing power. Philip, just incredible. Thank you very much, guys. I'm so excited you love it, because it's such a dream coming true having this projection tool on our forecaster terminal. It's amazing. Andrew, really great addition to the site. Very nice tool, Jonas. I love you guys. Thank you very much for the feedback. I really love you. It's not finished, guys, because I have something else for you. I told you about the macro comparison, which is very nice, but the real game changing is here. Look, spot new trades with the quantum screener. You probably already know the quantum screener because it's a tool that filtered the best opportunity thanks to seasonality and correlation. Now you also have the quantum screener with projection. So, for example, you are looking for the best trade ever on FX. That's it. You just need a click. You can choose 1 month or 3 months as a time frame. You can choose long and short or only long and only short. And here you have all the best matches. Look, for example, you're looking for a trade on Forex, short trade. Here we are on Australian dollar versus the American dollar. You have a very nice trade with 100% of probability in the past and the robustness of 5 on 5. You also have here euro against New Zealand dollar. And you have your trade. Amazing. 80% of probability for a short trade. This is amazing. You can now use it and you can add to your own analysis, to your own levels. You can use it as much as you want. Look, the software give you all the period in the past when prices moved exactly like this. This is a game-changing tool, guys. Ron is saying, ha ha ha, very good. Quantum screener, super. Of course, guys, because we have all the data we can screen now. For example, try to imagine you would like to have to do a long bet on the best sector of the S&P 500. That's it. You can bet long on the energy sector, which is because it's the one with the best probability for a long trade. And at the same time, maybe you would like to do a short. So you can do what we call spread trading. And that's it. On the short side, you can go short on the industrials that have a 75% probability with a 5 on 5 robustness. This is, as Rohan just wrote in the chat, amazing. Of course, Sandro is asking me something very interesting. And yes, we backtested everything. We backtested everything. And look, guys, here we have all the backtest, for example. And here we have a very simple strategy on, I'm opening it right now here together with you. And here we have a very simple strategy on the S&P 500 where we go long when we have 80% of probability, and we just go short when we have 80% of bear probability. And this is the results. Here we have actually a trading system which have a very impressive 60% of winning trades with a profit factor of 2.37. This is amazing. And we tested it on every different, on a lot of instruments, and we can definitely say this shit works. Guys, can you imagine? Just because it's telling us how the market we are analyzing behaved in the past. That's it. That's it. Of course, you cannot expect to always have a very strong prediction. So, for example, in this case, we are on Meta and we have 70% uh, probability of a downward movement with a robustness of only 4. Okay, but this is why you can use the quantum screener in order to get the best result. Try to imagine, for example, you would like only to trade once a month the S&P 500, okay? So what can you do? Very simple. Every month, at the beginning of the month, you go long on just the 5 most probable stocks for a long. For example, this could be a trade. You can do both long and short. You can go, for example, on the world index. You can go on the sectors. You can go on the Europe's 600. And of course, more categories will be added. You can do it for commodities. with 1 or 3 month time time frame. Okay, Dev, far out, gotta love it. Thank you very much. It works on everything, guys. It works on everything. Vasim is asking me if it works on gold, and also Mitchell is asking me. Of course, guys, it works on everything. Gold future. Here you have also the shortcut. You can go directly on the projection page. That's it. You can choose 1 month, 3 month, and you can play with it. You can see the single events. Look, guys, the gold is definitely in a bullish situation right now. What can we say? And you can also do a macro comparison, and you can, and the software goes back automatically to 2002 and give you the situation regarding the monetary policy, the inflation, the labor market, consumer confidence, the geopolitical events. Guys, this is nice. 2020, 2002. Look, of course they are talking about the September 11 terrorist attack. It works, guys. It works. And here you have all the target, you have all the projected stops, you have everything. I told you I was very happy to share with you something that will change the way you analyze market. And here we are. And to celebrate this special moment, guys, you have a new badge. You have the Oracle badge because you are an Oracle now. You were among the first to embrace projection, transforming probabilities into foresight and foresight into action. If you don't have an account with Forecaster right now, and if you want to have this badge, you can have it if you subscribe to the Forecaster before the end of September. Okay? Antonio, yes, definitely. You are an oracle. You can tell to your friend. You have the badge right now, so it's true. Vasim, thank you very much. I love you too. Mike, this is getting better and better. And believe me, we are at only the beginning. The best is yet to come. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I'm spending all the money we get from your subscription in developing new things. You cannot imagine how many engineers I'm paying right now. But, and we are in Switzerland. And we are in Switzerland. Look, we are in fucking Switzerland where salaries are very, very high. But we can get also the most prepared and best engineers. No, Mircea, the subscription price is not planned to go higher. But if you want to uh, support us, some of you ask for a lifetime plan, and here you can find this kind of membership, which is the life plan. And if you subscribe for the life plan, of course, you don't have to pay nothing anymore in the future. It's a little bit expensive, we know, but we also give you the official Forecaster Swiss Army knife. I don't know if you know what is a Swiss Army knife. Probably you know, but we will send you a real one. Yes, a real one, branded Forecaster. Let me check because I can show you this army knife. Of course, guys, someone of you asked for the lifetime plan, but don't worry, you can stay with your yearly or quarterly plan. Don't worry about that. But let me see because I can show you. Let me see. Yes, here we are. Here we have the Harmy Forecaster knife. If you would like to do the life plan, the lifetime plan, you will get this Harmy knife. Very nice. I will show you for real once I will get one because they are on the way. They are coming. Anyway, uh, for only 5,000 euro, you can get a knife. Of course, of course. No, I'm joking. You can stay with your plan actually, but I'm too excited for the new feature. So uh, that's it. I mean, someone asked in Italy. Someone asked for the lifetime plan, and we gave it. But I mean, I'm not gonna push it. Believe me, I'm not gonna push it. Yes, Jonas the knife is normally red, but if you go in on the website of Victorinox, which is the brand who made this knife, you can tailor made it. Here we are. I think I told you everything. I have to tell you. If you like this new feature, please go to Google, write forecaster.biz, and please leave us a review. It's very important for us because it will help us to reach people abroad with our forecaster terminal. If you have 2 minutes, please go to forecaster.biz Trust Pilot, which is a specialized website where you can write reviews. And if you write, I can also give you the website here. So you can go directly. If you're watching the recorded version of this webinar, you will find the link in the description. And if you write us a review here, thank you very much. Maybe mentioning this new AI feature, thank you very much. Because what we can do right now, we can definitely call this projection tool the ChatGPT for trader and investor, because this is exactly what AI do with words. We do it with price. Okay? So starting from next week, we will start to use it, this new tool, in our weekly webinars. And believe me, this is something amazing. I would like to show you something else, because you will see in a video tomorrow. This is a print screen I made at the beginning of April when I already had the forecaster projection, but it was in staging, as you can see here from the link. I only had it, and of this is why I betted more than $1,000 on Nvidia, because look, also the design of the page was a little bit different at the time, but with the 90% of probability, we had the projection with all-time high. And so this is why, also thanks to fundamentals and many other things, but this was one of the biggest points I made the decision to bet heavily on Nvidia. Okay, because we had 90% probability with a 5-star robustness. Okay. Anil, yes, right, you cheated, you should told us. Yes, but I was telling you every week that something really big was coming. What was the outcome? Of course, Mircea, everybody know, because if you go to see Nvidia, of course, the outcome is this one. This was the beginning of April, and this is what happened. Price skyrocketed exactly like the forecast did. Look, look, the projection made an all-time high for the beginning of June, and this is exactly what happened. Look, because at the beginning of June, at the beginning of June. Yes, here. The all-time high arrived at the end of June, but here we had at the beginning of June, we were exactly quite close to the top. I mean, this was a very nice result. Ron, where can we see that it wanted the June entry? Sorry, can you repeat? Can you repeat the question? I cannot understand. Anil, very impressive. Philip, wow. You already have the projection in your forecaster. You already have the projection here in the quantum screener. Enjoy yourself. You have the most powerful tool you can find nowadays for the stock market. Thank you very much and see you next week. Believe me, we will enjoy a lot because we will start to use this tool every fucking week. Thank you very much, guys. Wait for your reviews both on Google and Trustpilot. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye bye.